G'day mates. In today's video, I'm going to cover all the action from the round 2 solo cash cup, the set lobbies. We had an EU player come out of nowhere and win the tournament in 3 games, which of course got him accused of hacking. I'm going to talk about that, go into the evidence. Is he hacking? Is he not? I also want to talk about NA East and NA West, where we had Miro absolutely pop off, hold on to his crown as arguably the best player in the world right now. We had Unrealiana and Mobile Pro, who's now gone to PC, win the NA West cash cup from NA East. Also want to talk about how the Tilted update might be delayed. We may not be getting Tilted Towers in the game this week, and why I think Epic rescheduling the Duo Cash Cup confirms this. There's a lot to talk about. Let's just jump into it. First off, we have to start talking about EU and how we had an EU Pro pretty much win the Solo Cash Cup in 3 games. We had Teeny, an EU Pro, win on 161 points, but he had almost all of these in the first 3 games, kicking off the Cash Cup with a 10 elim win, 12 elim win, and 9 elim second back to back to back. And obviously, this is going to spark some kind of attention, especially when it's a pro that I don't want to say is unknown, because I feel like that term's thrown around too much now. When someone just kind of places out of nowhere, everyone pretends like it's their first event ever. Teeny hasn't played a lot of events in the past, but he has placed in cash cups before. He's earned back in November of last year, and he's been playing in tournaments for a while, so he's not completely unknown. But getting 2 double-digit wins and a 9 elim second, 3 games in a row in the first set lobby cash cup of the season, it's kind of crazy. Because of this, obviously, cheating and hacking allegations were thrown around like crazy. You had big notable pros in the scene like FNCS winner Jerky saying that he was cheating. Again, it went wild. We've talked a lot about hacking on my last few videos. I kind of want to avoid as much as I can today, but this one I kind of have to talk about. As far as everything that happened, he ended up going live for the last 3 games because he's pretty much already won the Cash Cup. And in these last 3 games, he did underperform. He got a 1 elim 64th, a 0 elim 49th, and a 2 elim 26th. This led a lot of people to be like, oh, he's clearly cheating because he went live and he turned the cheats off and now he's not doing very well. But honestly, I did see some really smart gameplay out of Teeny from what I could see from the gameplays and things people have posted out there. I also asked a lot of people in the scene, and he was playing very, very well, and a lot of people vouching for how good he plays, including the person who came second to him, Rezon, who said best player. He wasn't trying to accuse him of cheating, wasn't accusing him of hacking, just respected the player who did really, really well. So I understand why pros are super suspicious these days. I understand why they're accusing people, and the community feels like it's their job to try to find these hackers because Epic isn't. And I get that. I fully get where the community is coming from, but I'm really scared and sad to see the day where people can't perform out of nowhere or have a really good performance and pop off without being called a cheater. Fortnite is an open esport. That's what makes it so great. Every other season, we have a new player pop off out of nowhere, and it's insane and it's awesome. I don't want to start thinking constantly that they're a hacker every single time that happens. As far as Teeny, you guys know me. I'm not someone who uses my platform to witch hunt and try to find hackers and expose them and go into the VODs. That's not what I do. I present to you guys the situation that happened. As far as what I can see, I don't think there's enough evidence to call him a hacker. If you want to believe he is, that's your prerogative. But at the same time, I see an underrated player who's popped off out of nowhere, and I'm going to give him the respect. I get that he had to stream the last 3 games to try to prove people he's not hacking, but you got to remember, not everyone in these situations has the ability to stream, whether it be internet or the hardware infrastructure. So every time someone performs, we can't expect them to go live to prove they're not a hacker. Like, it's just not going to work that way. I have to hope that if people are hackers, Epic will find them these days. I know that more and more people are getting skeptical of that and getting doubtful, so I fully get why the community tries to go witch hunt mode. I just personally don't want to use my platform for that. So hats off to Teeny. As far as I can see at this point, he's not a hacker. He's just an absolute insane solo player who had 3 ridiculous games in a row. We had Rezon come in second on 119 points with a really, really good match history as well. He had an 8 elim first and a 6 elim third that really carried him through, but 2 good 10th place performances as well. We had Fury Legendary in third. We had Hydro in 4th, who also qualified for East and did very well on East as well. So Hydro very clearly a good solo player in this meta. We had DKS, Kami, Deceptos, Hookah, Raisin, Shade, a lot of names you'd expect to see. I'm not going to show the whole leaderboard, but overall, the EU tournament looked really good and the game stayed stacked till the very end. Every region I watched today, I watched NA East and NA West, and I've gone back and checked the clips and the VODs from EU because it's a bit too early for me to wake up for it this earlier time zone. And the games are good. Everyone's playing very well right to the very end. There's obviously a few players who stop playing at the end and a couple, you know, lower point teams running into higher point players, and everyone always hates that. But for the most part, the solo cash cups have been amazing. Moving on to NA East, we had an absolute nail-biting finish. We had Miro win out the NAE Solo Cup on 108 points, 1 elimination, 2 points clear of Jampa on 106. At the very end, Jampa had a kill stolen in his last game. I was trying to figure out whether that would have been the difference of him winning or not, and unfortunately it wasn't. He goes down straight afterwards. He wouldn't have got the placement points, so it would have been 108 tied, and then Miro would have won the tiebreaker on eliminations anyway. So a fantastic tournament. All eyes on Miro right now. He's come off the back of a back-to-back FNCS win, FNCS and Grand Royale, and now winning the first solo event of the season. Miro is looking ridiculous, and one of the things to note is he did it without the Spider-Man. The Spider-Man Mythic getting a lot of attention for just being free wins. It's cheating, get out of the game. A lot of pros not liking it and saying that it's just too easy to use. Miro actually performing insanely well without it, prioritizing vehicles and other forms of mobility on top of just being one of the smartest players in the world right now. If you're looking for someone to VOD for how to get better at Fortnite, go watch Miro's solo games. They are honestly a clinic. And Jampa the same. Jampa was playing so incredibly smart, so incredibly well. They both played super consistent, getting good average placements. Once we get down towards the 3rd and below mark, you just see some players who are getting absolutely insane pop-off games. Obviously, Peterbot in 98 had an average placement of 36.3, but an average elims of 2.67, with one of his games being an 8 elim win. Yadiomzo, a similar story, 95 points in 4th with a 9 elim win in there to really boost the points up there. We had Okas, Vert, Dubs, Fatch, Gold, and Polarize in the top 10. It was a very, very good tournament to watch, and like I said, there was some really insane performances. Because it's the Cash Cups and not FNCS, we do still have those cases of teams and players dropping at other drop spots with their friends and our teammates, and, you know, strategically not fighting. We've talked about this a lot in the past, but it doesn't feel as big in solo Cash Cups. Doesn't feel like there's been, you know, weeks of preparation where teams and players are like splitting entire drop spots down the middle and have these really organized rotates. It doesn't really feel like that. So this is honestly the most enjoyable solo set lobbies I've watched in quite a while. I know the SMG meta has got some people frustrated while playing it and the AR spraying. I get that, but I am enjoying watching this right now, and I do think the tournament is holding up very well. The NA East games looked great. They were stacked at the very end. We had what looks like a really good leaderboard too. Like, I get people's argument that the meta is not as skillful right now. I do think if shotguns were stronger, it could make it more skillful, but the debate has to be made that there is some really good teams in top 10. Like, these are some of the best players in NA East. It's not just complete randoms coming out of nowhere because the game is terrible right now and anyone can place. Also, if we look over at NA West, we had an NA East player, Unrealiana or Unreal, come in first on 120, beating out Epic Whale, the NA West GOAT. Remember, Unreal is also an ex-mobile pro. So coming off being one of the best, if not the best mobile pros in the world, to now being a PC demon and winning the NA West Cash Cup from NA East. A insane performance from him. Epic Whale was in the lead until the last 2 games. Unreal brought it back with a 7 elim win and then a 2 elim 11th. Unfortunately, Epic Whale's last 2 games was the opposite. A 0 elim 30th and a 0 elim 51st is what allowed Unreal to take the lead at the very end, but hats off to Epic Whale, playing phenomenally well, has been honestly one of the best players in NA West now for years and still doing it in solos. We had Saucy in 3rd, Jeffers in 4th, Kinzo in 5th, Owl in 6th, who right until the very end was on the podium. Unfortunately got a 0 elim 62nd in his last game. We had Yaya Toure making a reappearance. We had Chimp, Herbie, and then Defiable, with Yuz unfortunately just missing out of top 10, which on NA West was earnings. If you guys didn't know, I've talked about in a previous video, we are supposed to have one of our biggest updates in Fortnite history joining the game in the next few nights. We are supposed to have tilted towers emerge from the snow. We're supposed to have the dinosaurs appear around the map. We're supposed to have the new mythic SMG, as well as the new grotto. It's kind of like the new cave IO base, which is going to be a new POI on the map. All of this was set to come out on the 18th, but HypeX now pointing out that it looks like this might not happen. Tweeting out Snow Stage 5 is live and Stage 6 is set to go live on the 19th, which is very concerning. Concerning because Epic never enables a POI midweek. They've never done this before apparently, and Tilted's birthday is on the 18th, so they're most likely planning to leave the ice blocks there for another week. I could be wrong though, so we might not actually have Tilted this week. But the thing that makes me think we are going to get a major update and we potentially are going to get Tilted is the fact that Fortnite Competitive rescheduled the Duo Cash Cup that was supposed to correspond with this update. Was supposed to have day 1 qualifiers and day 2 take place, they've moved it back for seemingly no reason. I can't find any other reason why they would have moved these cash cups unless they're trying to avoid a massive update that would affect the game in the middle of this. Because if you had OCE, Asia, and Middle East start on the old update, and then you had EU and NAE start on the next update, it would throw things off a lot. And Epic has done this in the past. They have run tournaments over massive updates. So I'm not saying 100% this is evidence, but we already have one of the most reputable leakers pointing out that we are having a massive update on a night when the Duo Cash Cup gets rescheduled. So I'm not sure about what HypeX is saying here with, them moving it because they've never done one midweek. I guess this could break the streak. HypeX doesn't sound 100% positive, but I'm just letting you guys know because I've been waiting for Tilted. This update is going to be amazing. I'm definitely going to stream it and make a video on it. I'm as hyped as you are, but I just want to let you know what's going on. It might not be in the next couple days. It might be. I'm hoping it is. I want to drop at Tilted so damn bad. All right, guys, that does it for another video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please chuck a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.